What is the time?
Hey everyone, this is the Kubeflow community call for the 31st of March 2026. As usual, we're a CNCF project. There it is. There's a code of conduct. Be nice to each other. Uh, and be kind. Okay. And as always, because the meetings are a little bit hard to find, if you're watching this recording or you're here and you don't know how you got here, welcome. But the way you do it normally is by getting invited through, you go to the kubeflow.org website, go to community, scroll down a little bit to the meeting section. First off, you'll see a list of all the meetings, which is here with their meeting notes and past recordings on YouTube. Then what you do is to get a meeting invite to any specific event, you click on this link here, which says Kubeflow Community Calendar. You go to this page here, and then the way you register is you click on, let's say this one, you click register, and then you add your email and name here, and this will then send you an invite that if it gets cancelled or moved or changed, you'll get notified about that. And if you accept the invite on Gmail, it should show up in your calendar as well. But Gmail doesn't allow it by default, so make sure that you accept unknown senders or whatever that button is called these days. Additionally, if you are new to the project, we do have a Slack server, which is actually the CNCF Slack. So that's you similarly go to the community section, you then scroll down and then click join the CNCF Slack. It will invite your email, and then since it's a project, since we have many different projects that are all have their own channels, I recommend joining the ones you care about. But everyone should join announcements. Um, but yep, like I said, if you're into notebooks, join notebooks and pipelines and other things like that. If you ever want, we use these to both develop and community engagement. So that's there. So everyone's free, welcome to chat there. I think let's just quickly, just briefly go over this 2603 release. Is Julius here or someone else here from the release thing? Anya?
Yeah, I guess we forgot to if there are new people who would like to introduce themselves.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yes. Hi. You can do that. Yeah. Yeah. If anyone wants to quickly say hi. Sorry. Feel free
Yes,
to unmute.
hello. Yeah. Uh, Hello, my name is Gleb. I'm intern in Red Hat and I will work with you. So nice to meet you all. Yeah.
Welcome. Anyone else want to say hi? If not, we've probably got lots of stuff to talk about with KubeCon, so let's quickly move on. Welcome to all the new people. I do see some new faces, but let's keep going. Okay, so 2603. Who was there was so obviously we did cut the first version of this. I think there was some discussion last week that we need to follow up with a quick patch that includes that we'll try our best to make it not breaking from a manifest perspective, but to get in case of the wrong one. Trainer 2.2 and notebooks 2 1.11 and dashboard 2.0. They didn't quite make it into the first cut. I know that Christian and Julius have been working together on getting that in there. Is anyone from the release team here who can talk to that quickly, or?
I mean, I have nothing extra to add besides what you
Yep.
just said.
Cool. So I think the plan that I talked with Julius was that rather than calling it 2604, which I think would just be very confusing, even though it's technically a breaking change, I really want to stick to two releases a year so that we can set the expectation that we're doing two major releases. Even like the major reason I don't want to change that is because the docs, right? Like right now we haven't solved the problem of the way the docs are versioned, and it would just be I don't even want to think about what it would be if we had another random major minor version thing. It would just anyway. So longer term, we can talk about other approaches about having next versions that are not always supported or something. But I think let's not stumble on the first attempt at getting a release cycle established, if you know what I mean. And even if it means that we effectively are saying to users, please hold off on a month just so that we can get this patch release out for you to use. There is significant fixes in it on dashboard, for example. But you can feel free to use the current version. It is going to work. It's just uh, you might have to do a little bit of work to migrate to the patch release. That's just the one thing to note. Dominic, anything else you want to add there?
I mean, you said what I agree with as well. Having like a 26.04 would be kind of I
Yeah,
mean, like breaking the rules of the docs that we or like the release handbook right as we release it wouldn't be the best.
I think it does raise one point though that maybe we should push it. Just a thought, if anyone's got any ideas, push it to the month, both release cycles to the month after KubeCon, so that you know what I mean. Like so that it's more like we advertise, so that we guarantee we have an RC for KubeCon,
Hmm.
and then we effectively are using it to gain feedback, if you know what I mean. And that like if anything is truly busted, we might have more feedback, or I don't know. It's just an idea. The other alternative is obviously trying to keep it always before. It's just but I don't know what's worse. That's just an interesting discussion for the community.
For me, I know we released it like right before KubeCon, so we didn't even have the chance to get feedback from users on the newest release. Instead they were like most talking about like versions 1.11 or 1.8. Um, so I think if we advertise a new release afterwards as well might be good.
Like so, let's think about it. Think ahead to the end of the year. So like, there's going to be a
Mhm.
release just before KubeCon NA. Is our goal to have a release that when we get up on stage and hopefully announce that we're a graduated project in the keynote, that we're saying try this release now, or we say this is the next version. It'll be cut finalized in a month. You know what I mean? Or that like that. That's kind of yeah.
That does change things, yeah, yeah.
Well,
I think
that's a debate, right?
I would strongly prefer us just being ready. So I think um, I would aim at least for having everything ready. I don't know, a month or two in advance even. And if we then can pile up like extra stuff on top, it's always awesome. But yeah, I don't quite see us be like, yeah, hey, we will release something soonish. Be happy for it. I think people want to be hyped on what they can get right now and play with the things like the a group of people that actually touches something with RC on it is quite small, unfortunately.
And actually, there is rules in many open source projects about saying don't suggest users adopt pre-release versions. You know, like the Apache Foundation has very strong rules. CNCF does not have as strong of rules, but in any case, I think that if we're going to do that, then we need to plan a month before for the RC at this time. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I was trying to get at, Dominic. Yeah. Anyway, so if anyone's got ideas of how we can do that, let's plan this time to try and do that. Anyone else? Dominic, obviously, you're welcome to respond.
I mean, you know, that makes sense. It's just like I feel it was a bit chaotic because like KubeCon was right around the corner and then like the release happened so last minute that we couldn't get enough feedback in time. But if it is like if we do aim for like a month in advance, even if we were like a bit late, we'll still have like a bit of leeway.
Andre?
Yeah, I want to make a quick note around docs, as I mentioned in the chat. So I think if we want to solve this problem, we should move towards every project has its own documentation website, and we kind of aggregate them as gateway via kubeflow.org, because that will help you to actually guide users across documentation easily.
I mean, I think
So yeah,
that's important. I don't think that's. I think it's an important comment. I think we should still agree on a timeline for each major release. But
again, like I think from my perspective, it should move independently. Like we do have the Kubeflow platform releases, we do have Kubeflow project releases, right? They have their own release scheduler.
sure.
So I just for now just unclear for users like what does it mean to have pipelines to those 16? What does it mean to have notebooks 1.10, right? Um, like just I feel like it will be much more clear if they have a dedicated web page with a version there.
I think yeah. I mean, I agree with that. We should. Well, I don't know about. I don't necessarily agree that it needs to be on a separate website. I think we can probably use doc tooling to do it on the same website. But um, other projects have similar things. But Andre, anyway, let's follow up with that. I think. Do you have any thoughts about the uh release timing, or should we move on for now?
No, let's target, I guess July, right? Or what's August for
I think
RC?
it's the one before, what's like 1 or 2 months before. By the way, also just another comment. I think the reason why we ended up kind of so chaotic was because we kind of cut two releases almost in the space of 3 months. It was kind of like we did. I think normally the release cycle should be a couple of months, right? That's kind of I think the problem. Uh, but of course everyone's always going to get in things last minute. Who knows? Okay. Um, I think we did. When is KubeCon NA?
It's
9th of
November.
November.
So like a month before that, then I guess, right? Or 2 months before that, maybe. I don't know if we want to be super early. I don't know. Okay, cool. Anyway, we've got a few months there. Let's move on for now. Unless anyone's got anything burning to talk about this, I think we got something out which is good, and I think it is better than what we had before. And then the patch release will be much, much better. So open source is open source. Congrats everyone on that. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. So, okay, Andre, you wanted to add this?
No,
Yeah.
let's talk about KubeCon first. Valentina, you
Okay,
can go
cool.
ahead.
Valentin?
Yes. Hello, everyone. So, yeah, KubeCon was amazing. I think they had like 14,000 people attending, so which was fantastic. I think it was the biggest KubeCon we had. So that was first. Yeah, the second thing is the co-located event. So this was the first time we were doing co-located events with a Cloud Native AI and Kubeflow Summit. It was huge. We had two tracks. However, the bigger room, the first track, that one started earlier with a keynote. We have the room was packed, I don't know, like 500 people probably. I'm waiting on the numbers, so that was just me trying to put the number on the amount of people that were in the room. I think Johan thought it was like 1,000. I don't know. So it was a huge room. There was a keynote, but that was very generic on AI and everything. Then we have a couple of sessions who mentioned Qflow. And then after that, 10:40 to 5 p.m. something, we had separate rooms. The room C, I was the MC for that one. We have sessions on Qflow. Not all the sessions were about Qflow, but sessions about Qflow. And people were going back and forth in between rooms. So the peak session maybe was around 100 people, and the lower were maybe like 30, 50 people. Again, I'm waiting on the numbers, but yeah, joint event. Yeah, we had two tracks, and from hundreds to to like 30, 50 people, depending on the session. So that was good. I also reached out to all the Qflow speakers that were presenting sessions to invite them to talk in our community meeting, or if they were interested on publishing a blog, they seemed interested. They were like, yes, sounds great. So I'm waiting for them to reach out. We'll see. But yeah, it was great, very diverse, from pipelines trainer on climate change, and there were diverse topics. We also had a mention from Canonical on the keynotes. I think this was on Wednesday, which was great. What else? The maintainer session. So we have the hour session on the maintainer track, and this was on Tuesday. So collocated was Monday. Tuesday we had our session. It was around 3:15 p.m. And the room was fully booked, was packed. I think we may have between 200 people, around 200 people in the room. So interestingly, when I asked how many platform engineers, there were a few. I think there were more software developers this time, which was interesting. So a lot of people. So I asked how many people knew about Qflow. Most of them heard about it, but only a few were using Qflow. The same with the collocated event. When I started, I asked how many have heard about Qflow. Most of them heard, but how many were using Qflow? There was like less than the half. So which was great because it gave us a new like venue to talk to those people who have heard about Qflow but haven't had experience to, learn and use Qflow. So that I think was very positive. And yeah, we have the maintainer session. We have a lot of people. We have some questions at the end, like people reach out about starting contributing and these things. And so it was very good. I know Dominic. Dominic, you were on the kiosk as well on Thursday. Is there something you want to add? I think he said it was great.
It was great. There was a lot of, well, a lot more people than usual. The pavilion this time was a lot more open, so it was easier to go between booths. We were also next to the K-serve booth, so we had like we were able to like reference each other or recommend to visit one another for some more traffic. This time around, I've noticed that it was a lot more people that weren't familiar with Kubeflow coming along. So it was like a 50-50 of like what is Kubeflow versus people who like use Kubeflow or like were struggling to have it running or they have like a specific problem, like something. Um, which like with KubeCon NA last time, it was mostly technical people. So Kubeflow was and like a lot more in the spotlight. The keynotes definitely helped.
Was it to ask a question there? Like, so was it people when you say they? So was it people just what were they asking? What's an example? Like, what did they come up?
Well, I mean, they would just come up and say like, "What is Kubeflow?" And like I would ask them like, "Do you use like AI, ML in your workflow or anything?" And I mean, they would say no. So like they had nothing AI related. So I just gave
So
them like
where
a
did they
brief
hear of
rundown.
it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So like,
Um,
why were they asking? Yeah.
the keynotes in like day one and day two, Kubeflow was mentioned along with like LLMD and Kserve were heavily mentioned at least in the keynotes that I've seen.
Oh, that's
And
true too.
yeah.
I think a similar thing happened at KubeCon NA during the booth times when people were coming there as well, where we got mentioned a lot in the keynotes and other things, and people were like, "Okay, well, it seems important. I keep hearing about it," and I wonder what we
Mhm.
can do to capitalize on that. I'm just trying to think, I don't know, but yeah.
I mean, I did refer them to like the Project Pavilion talk that Anya gave, and I referred them to like the community meetings, of course, because I don't know every component off by heart or whatever. So some of the like more specific questions, I just told them about the specific meetings.
Anya, go. Yeah.
I guess I should have added. I was at the booth too, and there were lots of people. The range of the questions were like starting from what's new in the Kubeflow release and how do I contribute. There are some teams that have implemented like the observability dashboard or whatever in midstream, so they are willing to contribute that to upstream to like Kubeflow UI. So I pointed them on how they should proceed with that. Yeah, also the CERN company, CERN, yeah, you all know that. They've been really engaged with Kubeflow at the booth too, and there was a person, Rualin, who helped a lot with the Kubeflow booth, so I just wanted to mention that here too. And something that I noticed that comparing to Atlanta is that we didn't really have enough time for the booth, unfortunately. Like we had like only 4 hours. So yeah, it would be nice if there will be an opportunity to get more days. And but yeah, overall it was busy at the booth.
Do you have like do we have any kind of just for the people who were there? What was I know people you said they're a mixture of new and existing users, but like, what was the breakdown of their background? You said software engineers. What does that mean? Or was that true for the booth as well, or is that?
At the booth, mostly were software engineers trying to that are already using Kubeflow in production and like how they can contribute. That's from my experience.
Is that same, Dominic, for you?
I mean, there was definitely some, but like again, like there was a bunch of people who just heard about Kubeflow from the keynotes, in my experience. But we were also like on, I mean, we were sharing some time, but we were also like on different time slots.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Europe, in my experience, has large adoption already for Kubeflow, so it makes Anya, go. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that also we did the project pavilion talking about Kubeflow SDK. There were a lot of people. I think there were like around 100 of people, so like more than last time in Atlanta. And the main difference is that more people this time heard about Kubeflow comparing to Atlanta. So that's something that I noticed. And also throughout this time at KubeCon, regarding Kubeflow SDK, I think we hit the maximum number of downloads per one single day. It was like over 12,000 downloads throughout this week, so that was super exciting to see.
Awesome. Anyone else want to add anything? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Anya?
I had just a quick question. So what was like, the main user questions or teams they kind of come up to you and ask And maybe like, challenges to try to solve with us or anything else from the end users?
There was no like one common question, but the integration with MLflow, that's something that they are super excited about. Some of the teams they've been struggling with, so they already lost most of the teams. They already use MLflow under the hood, and they struggle with like multi-tenancy issues and so on. So they were excited to hear about the roadmap, as well as observability with hotel. I think that's something that I've noticed.
Yeah, kind of like I watch almost all the keynotes. What I noticed, like the team was inference, even like, and it's everywhere, right? It's all about inference these days. And I'm kind of like interested in how we can be helpful in this, phase, because I guess like people see the value of tools we're building in a different way. So I'm trying to understand, where our space should be in the cloud native ecosystem overall, right?
Yeah, there were a lot of users of Kserve who were interested about Kubeflow SDK and so on. So that's something that we should proceed with, like including Kserve client, but they didn't really have a chance to ask about use cases, unless anyone else had.
Cool. So, Valentin, you were talking about the Kubeflow specific day. Is there any other takeaways you want to add from that?
I'm thinking, I think, no, I'm trying to think. I think it could be interesting if these people, reach out and we can have some blogs, because the more use cases we can bring from end users, the things that we didn't thought about it, because, there was someone from, working on climate data. So how, we are not working on those. So she was, she was working with someone that he was kind of the Kubernetes Kubeflow expert, and they joined forces to bring like one compelling solution. So if we can bring all those use cases in some shape, for a blog or video, I think it would be great. So for everyone, if you hear about anyone who's doing something with Kubeflow, I think it would be good to bring it in some way. So that was the thing. The other thing, so two more things. I don't want to forget to say thank you to everyone. Our maintainer session, like everyone was very professional. It was amazing. Like we have some technical challenges, but it was great. All the speakers were amazing. Jono, Antonin, I don't want to forget anyone. Michael and Alexander from Capital One. I think having also like end users, who are contributors as well. That added a lot of value to our sessions. Like a lot of people, reach out to them after the session. So I think that was fantastic. Then the other thing, Red Hat did a workshop on, when was it? Wednesday morning, about RAG, and it was with Kubeflow pipelines, and there was like 400 people on the room. So I think that was great, and most of them were developers who didn't hear about Kubeflow, all the people. So I think that was great because it brings awareness, and they got to experience and work with Kubeflow. Those are the things that I remember from KubeCon, maybe forgetting something, but I think to sum up, I think it was a successful event. We have a lot of exposure, different activities, and I want to thank everyone. Of course, Anya and Dominic, who were helping on who else is this here? Yeah, who were helping on the booth with the demos and everything. And if I am forgetting someone, I'm sorry. But there was so many people, contributing to the success. So I want to thank everyone.
Cool. Awesome. Is there any other comments you want to make about KubeCon EU, or do you want to talk quickly about the other KubeCons that we've got listed here?
Yeah, once I have the numbers, I will share it. I'm waiting from the CNCF the numbers, so we can share that. But yeah, we can go with KubeCon India. I think Akash is he in the meeting, or is anyone else who can speak about it?
I think it's very soon. I think that's the most important thing to highlight. Someone commenting? Okay. I think you need to, if you want to get tickets, you should probably get tickets. Why is that?
I think, yeah, Crochet, are you there? that you were talking about
Hello.
KubeCon India on the chat.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I was talking about it. So I'm interested in like presenting Kubeflow over there. As I've been working in pipelines and also I'm working alongside Elisa these days. So I'll be really interested.
I think the CFP's closed some months ago, maybe, but but you're obviously welcome to attend. I'd say reach out to Akesh. Is that right? Akesh. Yeah.
Yeah, gosh,
Yeah.
I'll talk to him in Slack
Awesome.
personally.
Cool. If anyone else
Yeah.
wants
Yeah.
to attend and help out there, please reach out to Akesh. I think he's running the stuff there.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
so
he
much.
is. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
And then I can go
Japan.
quickly on the other ones, but we are looking to see. So yeah, CNCF just sent this email a couple of days ago about the previous KubeCon, the next KubeCon. So KubeCon Japan is coming, KubeCon China is coming as well. So for Japan, I don't know, it's Charge. So Charge is submitting a scholarship to attend, and we want to submit a maintainer, a session for the maintainer track, but we need more people attending in person. So we also, if we request a table, we want to know if there will be people there. So if there anyone who may be attending. Akash, you're here. Hey.
For
Yeah,
KubeCon India, I think.
yeah, for Japan, I think yes asked me. I'm not sure whether I'll be attending, but yeah, I'll maybe volunteer. Let's see if I'm attending during that time.
Cool. Did you have any
Yeah.
updates from KubeCon India that you wanted to share?
Not yet. Our talk is waitlisted. I think for the booth part, that update will be coming a little bit later. So yes. The same update as last week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I think Valentina is anyway part of the email chain. Our talk is waitlisted. So to get any slot this week, then only our talk will go. Otherwise,
Yeah. What
booth. Yeah.
what happened with the table? Do we have a table, right? That was confirmed?
No, Valentina. The update for that has not yet come.
Ah,
So there seems to
not
be
yet.
some confusion in the thread by the. Oh, so what do we have any specific presence there, Akesh, that you need help with? Like a booth or
Uh,
anything?
no. I think for the booth. So basically, that our team in India. Anyway, they told they will be helping us. So for now, no. But if there is anything specific that we are planning from Qflow side, we may present there. But idea is something similar to what we had for last KubeCon, where we'll be uh, showing about Qflow, we'll be onboarding new contributor, and maybe few swags if we can get from that ad. So that will be it. I don't think anything more than that. And regarding the swag part, anyway, Red Hat team is covering that, so we are fine.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
okay. Someone has their hand up. Manpreet?
Yeah,
Or
hi Matthew. So being a newcomer, I was just wasn't clear on a couple of things. So this page mentioned about the scholarships as well on in here for KubeCon. What does that refer to?
so scholarships are a way that maintainers of projects who can't afford to go to KubeCon can get sponsored by uh, various. They kind of they help you pay for your ticket to go there and also fly there as well. It's specifically for maintainers who are not part of a company, like or at least who are not being paid by their company to go there. You know, so um, yeah. So I think the way it works, I think this may have closed March, April. So this hasn't closed yet either. So it looks like for India this is still open. So yeah. And what do you have a specific question there?
And the other one that I had was something someone mentioned CFP. What does that
So
stand for?
CFP is a call for papers. So it's where you that's the way that these big conferences do how they decide who gets to talk. So you
Okay.
submit usually many months before the conference
Mhm.
an outline on the website through the website of what your talk would be about if you were selected, and then they go through and be get reviewed by various people, and so usually submit a talk to a track. Maybe it's about AI, maybe it's about platform engineering, something. And then
Okay.
if you get accepted, they send you an email, and then you get a time slot, and then you uh, you get a free ticket, if you get selected. You do have to fly there yourself, but you get a free ticket. And then you get a talk. So that's just how talks are done. Some talks are done a bit more last minute, like the ones in like lightning talks and the pavilion talks, I think. But Project Pavilion, yeah, that's the answer to that.
Okay, yeah, that helps. Thank you, Matthew.
So if you wanted to submit, yeah, oh yeah, Cash.
Yeah, Manpreet, one more thing, like scholarships are generally for maintenance, but I think for community members we get one slot each year. I got for Open Source Summit Korea. So
Okay.
maintenance or for community members who are active, like you have to show proof and what you have done and why you are not able to afford. So technically that is very limited to just one per year. So maybe you can try, but generally it is for maintenance or people who don't have any company to sponsor their work. But yeah, I mean technically even community members who are active and who can show proof, they can apply for the scholarship.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Akash.
Yep. And so if people think they meet the requirements, please ask in the channel. I think you do need to be sponsored by someone who's listed on the maintainers file of one of the big projects. So many people in this call and on the project are. So if you think you meet the requirements, reach out to one of us, and we'll help you.
Absolutely. I think I'm most interested in the CFP bit as I grow in the community eventually.
Always recommend submitting CFPs. Okay. And one other person had their hand up. Kashi? How do you? Kashi?
Yeah. Hi, Matthew. Kushi. It's Kushi. Yeah. So I wanted to tell that Akash that I'll also like to assist you in KubeCon India. I mean, if you need any assistance or collaboration over there in anything, so I would
Yeah.
love to.
So I'll add you to basically we're maintaining a sheet. I'll add you to that thread. Maybe please put your name. Whenever you're free or if you're attending, probably we can switch between the cycles. It is same as how other people have done for KubeCon Europe. So yeah, I'll add you to the sheet.
Okay. Thank you so much, Akash. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's move on to Japan because we don't have a lot of time left. I think this date might be wrong, Valentina. I think the date for the CFPs is actually already passed for Japan. Is that?
I think that one is for the maintainer.
Okay, wait.
The
So this
maintainer
is
track. Yeah.
so okay. Okay, we submitted one
I
or are
will
we
double
going to
check.
submit one?
So we want to submit one, but the problem I have right now is I don't know who will be attending. So far Josh will be submitting the scholarship, but I don't know. So I want to know if anyone else is planning to attend. I also planning on, posting on the Slack on the contributors. So if anyone is planning to attend Japan, because I think we need like 3 people, at least 3 speakers, let us know so we can have some presence there.
Cool. So I guess
Happy to support you. Yeah.
they may not be in this call, maybe the time zones aren't right, but if you are listening to this call, please reach out. Maybe we should ask in the announcements channel or something.
Yeah,
But yeah.
we'll ask there. And the same with China. I don't have anyone yet that may be attending. So yeah, if you're planning to attend, let us know. We can, support you from here with CFPs or anything. So yeah, that's the other thing. And then KubeCon North America, they say is coming soon. So opportunities will be open in April. So we probably hear in April more about that. Then I don't know if Tarek is here to talk about the virtual event. He's not.
Yeah, I just moved that one in there. So I think
Yeah, okay.
our CFP's open next month sometime. So I guess let's keep following up with that because this is our own virtual event here. So obviously want to make sure that we have lots of good talks, I guess. And I guess
Yeah.
this is a great opportunity to submit talks to this and then potentially do the same talk at KubeCon. So
You remind me. So I also spoke with the speakers who presented at KubeCon, with the collocated event, about this virtual event that is coming. And they were like, this is interesting. I said, hey, well, you could submit. There is of course, a process for reviewing the proposals, but so So yeah, we'll need to find out a way to connect with them and let them know that this is happening. But I told them that, to stay tuned, how to connect with us. So hopefully we can bring also those kind of end users to our community closer. That will be great. So yeah.
We should definitely check anyone who gave a talk about Kubeflow, either in the keynote or in any of the main talks, and ask them if they want to give a talk as well.
Yeah. Yeah, for
If
sure.
Yeah, very good ideas. Any other comments about the virtual event other than we should prepare
We
that,
should
I guess?
wait. Prepare. Start writing. Why not? Start writing. So when it's open, you just go and submit. Then the other thing, I know we have 20 minutes, but so we have our outreach program. So for those who are new, we are meeting every Wednesday now. It's the last Friday of the month. So we are meeting to talk about events, to talk about how to start contributing. So if you have, any questions about how to start contributing, you can always reach out on Slack. But if you want to have like a more, discussion about it, like, hey, where should I start? Or I don't know, anything, you can join our meeting. So we discussed about the contributors. So do you want to open that, Matthew? Can you click? So Chase was asking on the outreach channel about this, and I know, I think Matthew, you mentioned this. We talked with Tarek on the past, but we didn't put anything together until last Friday. So this is a draft proposal. It's not completed, and we are looking for feedback and ideas. The idea here is how to recognize contributions so we can bring more engagement and also support the sustainability of the project. So one of the things is we are thinking in who is eligible for this program. And the program name is the Contributor of the Month. We want to select, we will do a pilot. That's the main idea, do a pilot to select one. We'll see if we have like, I don't know, hundreds, maybe we'll do 2 or 3 per month. We'll start with one. And who is eligible? It could be technical or not technical contribution. So we had a discussion as well about how we can also recognize those non-technical contributions. It could be in shape of, I don't know, outreach activities, advocacy, maybe videos, demos, maybe a blog, or maybe, I don't know, it could be anything, right? Because we want to engage with everyone and recognize all contributions. So we want to define that. So there was a topic about we don't have that really highlighted and explained on our website on the contribution section. So that was coming from Dominic. I agree. We should be more, talk about what type of contributions we can do to Kubeflow, despite of anyone's backgrounds or just passions. And then we said the submission process will be to a Google form. Someone will name, okay, who's the contributor, where is he based, what is the contribution, and what was the project, and then the link to prove that this contribution happened. After that, we want to make a referral. So if you want to be, recognized, ideally, like someone else would recognize you, and that kind of validates your recognition, right? You have someone else saying, yeah, this person is the contributor of the month. Maybe as a first PR, we don't know. So that's the eligibility. So how are we choosing that contributor of the month? That's what we don't know yet. So because we talk about, is it the amount? Is it the impact? How we can measure, right? Imagine that, I don't know, maybe someone is new and that build, I don't know, an amazing blog and it's fantastic. Maybe someone work, I don't know, 100 PRs. So we need help on having those discussions and finding like the right approach. The idea is to put all of this in writing. We want to provide transparency as well of how we are choosing the contributor of the month, so everyone feels included and is transparent and anyone knows what to do or what not to. And the idea is once we mention this person, we want to mention this person in the community meetings. We want to do it in other internal meetings, social media, also create a new page on the Kubeflow website with the contributors of the month. So people can, connect that in, I don't know, maybe in their resume. I don't know. We want to help also people build their careers with the recognition, the work that they are putting in the community. And then I think it's that the idea is to start as soon as possible. But yeah, we are looking for feedback and we need to figure out the eligibility or, and start writing these things. It takes some weeks. But yeah, Christian, you have your hand up, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this sounds like an interesting idea, and I'm quite like I'm curious on how it will play out regarding the community dynamics on this. But the other thing that I like the proposal got me thinking about is that while like making singular contributors stand out or handing out badges on LinkedIn or however like the thing will be implemented in the end, I think it would also be important to look at how any contributor is recognized within the Kubeflow ecosystem. So if like we can improve the way that people feel welcome or like have a little, hey, you did your first contribution thing on pull requests workflow, because we could also interlock that with like um, contribution guidelines so that people who do their first contributions already get like some information on how they could make sure that it's actually being made part of the community. And I think there's a lot of potential there, but maybe the current proposal is also something that could help in that regard. The issue that I just see is then that people will try to contribute with the aim of getting this, and I think it should be the other way around. Like people already contributing, and yeah, this is what I meant with the community dynamics. But I mean, it's something where we can see how it plays out.
I mean, people can contribute great things for the wrong reasons, and I think it's still a good thing for the community. I think the question becomes, and Valentina, maybe the question that Christian was highlighting is, how do we make it so that when people get this badge, that they don't just leave effectively, right? If that was their goal.
Yeah, well, that's yeah, we
Like
cannot.
recognizing
Yeah,
maybe recognizing ongoing contributions at the same time as well. I mean, Andre was joking that someone was like Andre would win every month, but it's like, no, I mean, like obviously we would
well,
have different people.
maybe we do at the end, give me an idea, contributor of the year, right? So after,
Well, but so for the
no,
maintainers,
right?
by the way, I think we should be making sure that we nominate, assuming the CNCF is still doing it, for people who are actually on the maintainers file from the CNCF, we can nominate maintainers. They have to be on the maintainers file as like outstand. I forget the wording they use, but you get a trophy and everything. So like they say, give it to you at KubeCon. So like,
Yeah. Yeah, I love
um,
that. Yeah, I was planning like maybe to talk with the CNCF about this if they have any ideas.
so we
Um,
have that. So that's actually already a thing but you have to be on the maintainers list for those ones and invited to the pre-maintainers conference. But we should do that. We like it's very Kubernetes centric right now, those awards.
yeah. Oh, really?
Anya,
Nice.
Anya,
Yeah.
you had your hand up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I love the idea of trophy for maintainers. Also, we could have like a maintainer of the or contributor of the year, so that they will be willing to continue contributing.
Is it a
Yeah.
monthly thing also, or is this more like are we confident we can do one of these every single month, or
Yeah, we should. I mean, I think so. We need to do this pilot, right? We need to do like once and see like how many people have submitted, and maybe from there, balance and say, oh, okay, maybe we need to do it more frequently. Maybe we need to choose more than one. I don't know. There is a lot of potential, I think. I do. Christian was saying also like new contributors, so that's something also. So someone can nominate a new contributor, right? That maybe, yeah, because this person did this amazing job. Why not? But also, we can look into how we are making the experience for people to start contributing and making those contributions more visible. So that's something else we can
maybe
look. So thanks for
maybe
that.
we rotate through categories. Maybe like we have a new contributor one month and then like an ongoing contributor another month or something, like like so that we
Yeah,
yeah, oh, that's an
Most
idea.
consistent contributor. Or
I don't know, just anything, right? Like, anyway, Andre has
yeah,
his hand up. Sorry, yeah.
No, it's fine. I think this is an awesome idea, Valentina. Thank you for this. I think we should definitely reach out to CNCF, and we think we should announce it as part of Kubeflow Day, hopefully in NA, KubeCon NA. So I think we should probably allocate, like we have this welcoming session, similar to how they do the keynote I think they do this in the third day of keynote at KubeCon stage to announce contributor of the year, as Matthew said, like focusing on Kubernetes. We should do something similar, but focusing on Kubeflow during those official events, right? Like we can maybe talk to them, like in terms of whether we can have official badge, and I think they can help definitely, with that to kind of like maybe some sort of official recognition from cloud native community. And I definitely know like maybe some other projects also do similar things. So let's try with something and let's try to maybe, like prepare something before November for for the announcements.
So definitely for those,
yeah.
there's two different ones there. There's the ones that go on the main stage, and then there's the maintainer summit ones as well. So
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely talk to Chris to say if we can make this on the main stage. I wouldn't be, like,
yeah, the maintainer summit is fine. Like
yeah, yeah,
I just want to make sure that we recognize those people. Anyway, so but coming back to
yeah.
Valent, do you have any ideas, Andre, about this we're talking about? Or-
No, I think it's fine. I mean, like, like starting with new maintainers or, starting with checking the maintainers list, it's okay. I think we should kind of, as I said, like probably talk to people who've been in the community for a long time, like, Julius, Matthew, you and other folks, right, who maybe like cannot apply. So we give, like new folks a way to be recognized. Well, we can think about this more, but I guess my recommendation is to reach out to CNCF. Like, because if we make this official, I think that will be much better from my perspective. Official badge somehow, right? How they do this for, Cube astronauts or other things, right? In Kubernetes space.
I think we should do that as well, but I don't think that should stop us from having our own program.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I
We
agree.
should do that as
no.
well. Yeah.
It's more like looking for feedback and see they have seen this working in other projects, they have other ideas. I may be like, yeah, guys, but I don't know. Just I think that, but yeah, I agree. We shouldn't, stop. So Matthew, are you saying that this is only for maintenance? Can you clarify that?
So for the ones that go on the main stage, yes, but for the ones
Yeah.
that so like
Okay.
that's so what I'm saying is I think part of what we're just talking about actually might help, which is we should have categories of contribution recognition awards. Maybe contributor of the month might be a little bit extreme, but like maybe recognition award, and then you have like new contribute highest impact new contributor, and we rotate
I
through
wouldn't,
categories.
yeah, I mean, I would start with simple things. I mean, I wouldn't really much like limited ourselves to maintainers only,
No,
right?
no, no. That's what I'm
Because,
saying.
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that
okay.
we have like so that we both incentivize. I think other partially what Christian was saying is that we shouldn't accidentally incentivize one contribution and then leave. So like we should allow recognition for that, but maybe have that once every 3 months and then rotate through three categories that we go through. Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know,
Yeah.
just an idea.
Yeah.
And then
No,
you'd have
that's
different
good.
eligibility for each one, to be clear.
Yeah, let's do a pilot and then see. I think we need to do a period of see what we've seen, how many people are submitting, what type of categories we see, and then from there like it will give us more idea. Christian.
Yeah, so the things that I already evaluated or at least thought about for a different open source project was to implement some kind of reward or gamification system, which is not as extreme in the sense of like somebody gets a trophy or somebody is like publicly shout outed, but that like people can build up. I don't know, similar to you to what you may know from Reddit, like streak on I don't know months contributed or pull requests reviewed 500 like badge or that they can build up like
Oh
a
yeah.
profile and have like a few more low level things which people can just show. And I think it's also possible to have stuff like this on the GitHub profile. I just don't know how it works, at least from GitHub itself. And maybe the CNCF already has something that employs a little bit of gamification for
Yeah,
like the
yeah, yeah. That is
contribution
why
workflow.
yeah, sorry, I think this is what I mentioned, like to reach out to CNCF as soon as we can because they do have this system already. So they do have a system like, you can have a badge for in a program committee, you can have a badge to be a speaker, right? So similar to this, if we can work with them to make an official badge to, be contributor of the month or contributor of the year, I think they would help us with this gamification model, right?
It will be more like asking them for the badge issue.
Yeah,
To issue that badge so you can add it in your LinkedIn or yeah. No, that's good. Yes.
I also do like what Christian was
And
just saying, I think, right?
yeah,
Which
the
is
goal why
having
I propose it is because it encourages like long-term and regular contributions and it rewards that.
just to clarify what I highlight what Christian was saying is that that is great what we're talking about, but separate to that, having like badges that trigger at levels of contribution or like consistency of contribution as well. So like anyone who's
status.
reviewed one PR a month for 12 months, you know what I mean, and actually had it merged or something, like that's kind of I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah, like you're maturing, like okay, got it. Yeah, I can ask. Yeah,
in
we can
addition to
evaluate
this
that.
other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. But
But I love
one thing
I love
with
the
that,
initiative.
Yeah. Great. Yes. Yeah, we need to. So what I will do is I will gather feedback from CNCF. I will post it on different channels, and then we connect. Yeah, next week and see, where we are, and then we continue. Hopefully, we can implement that in April. We'll see. But yeah,
Okay,
thanks
we've only
everyone
got
for the
a
feedback.
couple minutes
Feel free to add
left.
comments on the doc as well. Yeah, next
So
topic.
sorry, Andre. I think I may have.
Yeah, let me quickly talk about it if you have time.
Yeah.
We have 5 minutes, right?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, first of all, I just want to talk about, like as announced last week, we working on the next generation of a Caddy project. Like we try to see, because we introduced this new kind of optimizer client or SDK, but right now we do have this kind of like, wrapper on top of Caddy experiment CRD. So what we want to do next, we want to kind of like, re-architect all those APIs to build a Kubernetes native API for HPO, just focusing on hyperparameter optimization. And we want to make this API very, work very closely to the train job API. So basically have a clear integration with the trainer controller, etc. So this is a long doc explaining like what actually we want to do in the first phase and, like what kind of API we probably want to introduce from the short term to the long term. I guess like my only call out here is if you're a user of Kadib, because this is a significant factor of this API. And if you really depend on this project, you kind of like need to review this as soon as you can, because some of the feature will be deprecated because we don't think this is necessary for users to continue support them. And our plan is to start work on this soon. And also some of this work will be part of the GSOC, some of this work will be done by the maintainers. So we will work together with the community to ensure we do have this Kubernetes native API for HPO upstream. Yeah, so
Do you have
go
a
ahead.
list of like? Do you have like a very high summary of like the reason for the change, the biggest new things, and the things that are going away?
Yeah, like I think it's kind of enumerating in the goals. Like the biggest like reason for the change, we want to stop using the concept of experiment in KDP API, and we want to have much deeper integration with the train job API because like some folks from Red Hat, they've done an amazing job to introduce the server side of train job, basically how we collect the metrics in the train job API and announced it like last week. So this capability allows us to actually reduce the dependency on database in KD project, which means we no longer need to store the metrics, which significantly reduce, like the operational overhead for end users. So there are a couple of other things, we're thinking about, multi-objective optimization, also, different schedulers for, similar to how RayTune works. Like we want to like support multiple schedulers to do, early stopping and other things around parameter optimization. So basically, focusing, I think, KTIP, we can definitely talk about it more maybe next time, but KTIP has a huge ambition initially, but we kind of like, don't have a clear um, API definition for users because we kind of like support, neural architecture search. We're thinking about supporting feature, like model compression and other algorithms, which kind of like end up with we grow is the API a lot, but we don't really have a clear problem to solve. So we want to really focus on HPO here and then expand it to support other things. Yeah, but
Specifically,
anyway,
so what you're saying is focusing it back towards hyperparameter optimization rather
initially,
than,
yes. Yeah, like,
because I
like
agree things have changed in the last 7 years, yeah, in the world.
yeah, not many folks doing, neural architecture search
Yeah.
these days, or, I mean, model compression is interesting because, like people try to compress LLMs and some of those algorithms I think will be useful, but we probably should build an API for them, right?
Like a
We shouldn't,
fine-tuning
yeah.
specific one, yeah. Or
Yeah,
compression, yeah.
there are some feature optimizations, like, like feature generation optimizations and other things. So, yeah, but anyway, so this is focusing on HPO specifically. Yeah.
So what that would mean, so for people to review, when do they need to review it by?
Yeah, I think I mean as soon as you can because like our plan is to start working maybe in April, like in May, and KG project probably will be kind of renamed, and we will think on this more, like as part of our call. So if you want to get
So which
involved,
which
like
call?
yeah,
Yeah, which call?
yeah, the our trainer and our TML calls on Wednesday. So next one will be in the week after this week.
We should
So
definitely publicize that we're going to be working on a major refactor of Gadib. So
I think
join those
so.
calls
Yeah.
and discuss them if you want to help out. Okay,
All right.
cool. Thank you. If you
Other
want to keep
things, yeah,
calling
yeah.
it out.
Yeah, so we don't have a lot of time right now. We can talk maybe next week, but I just want us at some point talk about this Kubernetes AI performance. And I don't know, like, Matthew, do you think we should maybe postpone this to next week?
Let's talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about that next week. Yeah, that seems like a good
Okay.
discussion. I mean, it's not
Okay.
like it can
Sounds
happen
good.
this week anyway. So
Yeah, just like for awareness that Kubernetes was working on AI conformance program, I think we have a good opportunity for us as a platform to apply and maybe it's something we can consider as a community to think about, because I saw other open source projects apply for the conformance program as well. So
the inference one might hurt us a little bit, but
yeah, and we
we
can think
talk
about it
this,
because Ksurf is part of Kubeflow platform is this, so we can think about inference. So, all right.
Cool. Okay. And then obviously we did merge the AI policy, so let's try and start following these rules, I think, as well. We probably should have talked about it at the beginning, but let's. Are we going to link them in each of the projects as well? Is that going to happen, Andre?
Yes, we should do it actually. It's a good point. We should probably link this via contributor.nd, right?
Yep. It should be. I don't think it's yet linked in the contributing guide either, the overall one.
Yeah. Do we want to really link them from this guide?
Well, we should link. Everything should either point to here or some other place, but I think these are honestly, these are very pragmatic, but they are specific, right? You know, we've kind of said that please don't interact with maintainers using AI, for example, like that. That is slightly different to some other projects, maybe. So like making like I think these are pretty good. If people disagree, these are open to discussion, obviously, but um hopefully we can start when people do kind of do strange things and don't follow these rules, we should start pointing them towards this, being like, hey, we prefer to please follow these rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so all of them maintainers, please link this doc to your contributing.md file, right?
We should definitely like just make sure that that's in there. That should just be a requirement. So like we should
that's right.
Go through and just tick off which each one is done. But I think so like, and we should also, as the maintainers of each project, be enforcing, especially stuff like disclosure. If a PR looks like it's got AI generated and it doesn't have an authored by, that's kind of suspicious, you know? So we should try and enforce this. We can help, and if project maintainers struggle to enforce it, we can help figure out ways to automate it and things like that. But hopefully we can all align as a project. Of course, if people don't agree with the rules, let's discuss them. But yeah, I just wanted to bring these up, so let's make sure that we should probably follow up with each of the leads. But cool. I know there was some discussion around removing the SDK from the website survey. We should probably do that. And the OCI access stuff, I don't know what's going on there right now, but we can follow up with that offline. Anything else people need to talk about before we close out the meeting? Ramesh. Oh, yes. Hi.
Yes. There's one thing I wanted to mention. You know, today is the last day to put the proposals in for the GSOC students. So all the mentors, look out. There is going to be a flurry of activity coming in your way. Apologies for the more work on your plate, but hey, hopefully these guys will help you move the needle a little bit. So I will be going back and checking this week all the proposals and probably throw out some of the garbage and get you guys a consolidated list of proposals you guys need to be looking at. If you already have been working with a contributor, you know, please let me know. You know, please DM me or something. But you know, yeah, let's bring them up. Then you know, the last year we did we selected the way we did it last year or last couple of years is out of whatever 15-20 proposals for each project we downsized to, we picked top 4 and we went and talked to those 4 students and we ranked them and we picked the top 1 student from each project to sell, you know, to put it as a our choice in selecting the student, right? So I don't know if you guys want to still want a same process in place. I'm open to any suggestions you guys have, but you know, that's what we did last year at least.
I'd suggest starting a thread with all the maintainers, not maintainers, sorry, with all the mentors. But definitely you have to interview people. You can't. You must talk to someone before accepting them. It's very dangerous to not do that. You'll be working with them for months on end if they aren't. They may not even be a real person unless you talk to them, right? So,
Right.
Definitely, I think the work you did last year to pre-group the the submissions by project was very helpful, and create a spreadsheet that we can all kind of rank
Yep.
by, immediately filter out. And I think that was very helpful last time, and I imagine it will be even more helpful this time. So,
yeah, well, I hope to do the same thing. If you guys need, I mean, based on your experience, if we need to tweak the process a little bit, please, speak up, and so that I
so you
don't
definitely
go
start
on
that thread with the
thread.
mentors,
Yeah,
and they can,
I will.
it's not really super relevant to the whole community, but yeah, thank you for your work on that. And
Thank you.
awesome.
Thanks for
I'm gonna stop the recording, but thanks everyone for coming. Thanks everyone. How do I stop?